Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Wholesome Bot. Today we're going to be marking day number 2 of our A to Z series. Today we have to play with Agni. And need I add, this is actually my second victory because my first victory, upon me winning, I realized that it wasn't recording at all and I had to go back and get a second dub. Lucky for me, I ran into somebody who was not that good at the game. I mean, they weren't terrible. They were plat players, so you can do with that information as you may. However, I got pretty lucky with the second gameplay because anyone that knows me or has played like duels, practice with me, you'll know that I do not like Agni in duels at all. He just has a very cowardice play style, and I'd hate playing back a lot and just having to strategically push. However, I'm not going to complain too much because they're a worse god. I think one of the first things that you need to note when you're playing as Agni is definitely going to be you do not do that much damage. I mean, capped out abilities damage altogether, like at a level 3 you're going to be doing about 230 damage, give or take, depending on what you start. You might be able to push that up to 300, but it's definitely not enough to kill somebody with one rotation. You might need to get off a couple 6 autos, and your autos aren't that strong. Don't laugh at me for that. I think one of the first things that you definitely need to pay attention to when you're playing as Agni is going to be that you actually have a couple options as far as build goes. So you can build him as a powerhouse with complete CC, or you can build him as a life-stealing powerhouse with complete CDR, or you can build him as a life-steal god with complete CDR. If you guys are paying attention, you kind of can understand what you need on him. It's going to be CDR. You know what I'm saying? Agni is a god that definitely capitalizes on CDR because this ultimate only has a, 9-second cooldown when you have a max cooldown reduction. That it stacks up to 3 times. So on your backing, you come back with 3 full stacks of your ult, capable of doing hella damage. It's capable of destroying anybody who wants to fight you. However, this does come at a flaw. The drawback being that your one doesn't do much damage. Its only versatility is going to be as a stun. Now, also keep in mind, you want to make sure that you get your autos whenever you can, and once you build up your passive meter by autoing things, you're going to shoot your 2 at an enemy god. What this is going to do is going to apply combustion, as you saw there. That burst damage that I just did to that Medusa was completely due to my passive. Just because it's going to ignite them, and it's going to do a percentage of your max magical power on top of the base damage, which is 5 per tick. It's going to tick every like 0.5 seconds or so. I don't know. You can read the goddamn building. I'm here to teach you how to play the god, not learn. Speaking of learning the gods, one thing that you definitely should learn. So if you're gonna build Agni full power, one thing that you do want to incorporate into that build is gonna be Polynomicon and Boomba's Hammer. This is gonna allow you to essentially shorten your cooldown even more than it already was if you max out the interjection of basics in between your ability chain, giving you ultimately destructive power. I did not run that in this playthrough. I decided to do more of a penetration, full power, cooldown reduction build, which was the best for what I was going against, especially against Medusa since she has built-in anti-heal. I didn't want to really run a lot of anti-heal. I did run Bancrofts in this build just for the sake of why not. Also, speaking of builds, one good thing that you always want to run if you're going to be running power, Agni is going to be Polynomicon and Boomba's Hammer. Obviously, I didn't run that in this build just because I didn't really feel like it, but that is an extremely good combination. It allows you to really have some great CC, some cooldown reduction, CDR in the end game, you know. Also, do not be afraid as Agni to get into your enemy's face. As long as they're not an enemy with a stun, you should be pretty good and should be able to get a pretty good box out of that fight. However, I do caution you that you will not be able to take any hits. The reason why I do beckon you to get in and throw some basics is, especially for early game Agni, you just don't do enough damage with pure abilities. You're definitely going to want to go in, throw a couple basics to spice it up. As you saw, like I did early game in this, I went in, I shot a couple basics instead of just relying completely on abilities. Because if you do that, 9 times out of 10, they're going to use their chalices and they're just going to heal back up. And then you're going to be low health and they're going to be half health and you're going to run. Because, yeah, you're just Agni. Agni's name is literally the embodiment of what he'll cause you if you try to play him any passive. Also, I do want to remind you guys that Agnes 3 is a very strong offensive item. It actually does an extreme amount of damage. And I've actually seen people recently pair it with the Fire Blink and make it even that much more destructive. You can use it to cut off bot waves just running in a line diagonally across the wave lane. And the bots will run right through it, taking additional damage. You can back up, go to your initial point, and then angle the god, your enemy god, in a way that it's intersecting you and where you want to be, and hit them that way. But there's just so many ways to use Agnes 3. I think it's honestly one of the best things in this kit. It also has a long timer that you can get the stun off of it. So definitely, in my opinion, a must master if you want to be good with this god. That 3 will destroy your enemies if you can learn it. However, it is a double-edged sword because that is your only way of escape. And Agni is very squishy, so you definitely do not want to use it at a terrible time. Like right there, that should definitely... Oh, see, look, it killed him. Now, skipping right on ahead to the end game, because mid game Agni is going to be pretty shaky. It's not going to be too exciting. You really don't pick up crazy until your end game. End game Agni is going to deliver some of the hardest damage you're going to see behind the most safe range that you're probably going to get out of most, if any mage counters the amount of safety he can play. And by using this safety to your advantage, you're going to be able to get the edge over most opponents in game. Now, some gods will be able to counter you pretty well. And by those gods, we're going to be talking about gods kind of like Kali, like Bellona, just gods that have the ability to chase and then hard CC you, and basically give themselves moments of invulnerability in which they can juke your stun, because your stun is what's going to allow you to have that huge peel that gives Agni that reputation of being extremely annoying to go against in the late game. So as long as you're not going against a god like that, you're probably going to dominate. You're probably going to win the game. But unfortunate for Acne mains, Acne, he's a pimple now? No, Agni mains, you're gonna have a lot of gods in the duel scene that are gonna have that chasing potential, which is why they're gonna be high tier gods. But against other mid tier gods for duel, Agni is absolutely going to shine. He's gonna dominate the late game. They're not gonna be able to touch him. You're gonna teabag him. You're gonna BM him, and you're gonna be as toxic of a smite player. I'm just kidding. You're not going to be a toxic smite player. Here in the wholesome community, we don't do any toxicity. Only thing we're going to do is give them advice, try to help them improve after the match. We're going to give them a little bit of motivation, because playing ranked duels can be hard. You want to know else can be hard? Not clicking the sub button after you watch my videos, which I definitely recommend you should do. It's also proven that kindness makes you a happier person. You know what I'm saying? So do consider clicking that little red button, maybe even the bell button right next to it, just because you're a nice person. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if there's any tips that you would have added in yourself. Let me know if you think I'm just a complete idiot, which is very possible. Let me know, like, what should I add some more background music? Like, what should I do to improve the channel for those of you guys that are out there watching? Maybe I just need to have less of a lisp when I speak. Maybe I just need to use proper grammar. You guys let me know. Otherwise, if I got nothing else for you guys have a great day. Stay humble, stay positive, and stay motivated. Peace out.